So here we are on the midweek movie show. And as ever, if we are speaking about kids' movies, we need to talk to our kids' movie correspondent and Aimee Jenkins-Hoare. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
All good. Right now, we're turning red tonight, or maybe we're not turning red, but certainly Pixar are. Just to explain to everybody at home, what's the film pretty much about?
Well, the film's about like a girl who basically is in a family and her mother is controlling of her.
Mm.
And like she's a complete different person when she's at home compared to when she's with her friends because
Right.
her mother wants her to do everything and she goes along with it until one day she wakes up as a panda.
Of course.
Because that's what everybody goes through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it happened to all of us at some point or another, didn't it?
But basically she begins to, like, her mother realizes it, and there's sort of like a family crisis as there is in most of Disney and Pixar's films and stuff. But there's basically it's like all of her family on the women's side turn to pandas at a certain age, but she experiences it a lot earlier than everyone else.
Yeah.
And then there's just sort of a family crisis that builds up, and eventually it obviously works out happily, like all Pixar's and Disney's films do. But there's a lot of
there's a big crisis, isn't there? I mean,
Yeah.
let's not. We won't give away too many spoilers, but we're just talking. Giant pandas at some point or another is where we shall go. Now, this, the whole film Turning Red. It's everyone's talking about it in terms of it being about growing up, and they've been sort of aimed at an age group, kind of pretty much your age group, isn't it? Did you think it really kind of hit that kind of age group properly in the way that you were expecting?
Not really. I mean, I think it's the film. It's like they're aiming all their Pixar. They're trying to aim their films towards an older age group, but they're not really succeeding. And they're all of the young 13-year-old girls are have really squeaky voices, high pitched and everything. And it sounds like that Pixar have put people on it, made them have their voices higher.
Yeah.
And make them sound like a 5-year-old rather than a 13-year-old.
And you said, just sort of off camera before we came on, was that you were saying that that maybe this might actually appeal a lot more to younger children, that even though it's been aimed at an older age group.
Yeah, mainly just because when you're older, there's some people who think cartoons are too babyish, or just because if you watch it, it's not really it's an all right film, but there's certain things in it that just are pointless. Or
yeah, is it that just that it's not Pixar's best? Have they set themselves too high a standard in the past, do you think?
I think so, because their previous stuff have been a lot better than the past two that I can think of was Onward and obviously Turning Red, and they're sort of aiming for higher children, but they're definitely not succeeding.
Yeah, this is not a Finding Nemo. This is not a Toy Story or a Bug's Life or anything like that. This is, as much as the pandas are pretty cute, I would say, it's very much a film with a message. And I mean, a lot of it. I mean, you mentioned earlier on, this is basically, Pixar trying to do puberty and pandas. It's all peas. Now, is that message coming across? Did it feel like it's like, what, I'm going to learn something from this?
No, not at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was just it sort of just completely went over it and just didn't bother to actually put what their message was inside of the film.
Right. So it just got missed in amongst all of the cuteness and family fighting in between.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, look, I'm gonna ask you, if you had to give it a star rating out of 5, what would you give Turning Red?
I know this is pretty low, but I'd say a 2.5, just because they're setting themselves too high standards, and that their age rating was, in my opinion, definitely wasn't the right thing.
Pixar, the message is clear. Pull your finger out. We're going to listen to some music from the film now. You're going to join us in a few weeks' time when we review some more kids' films?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Aimee Jenkins-Hoare, our kids correspondent. Let's listen to some music from Turning Red now, and we'll be back with you, Mel and I's review of it on the other side of this.